Welcome to ValleyBox's Forklift Certification Training Series. This section is focused on information about the specific forklifts at ValleyBox. Operating a forklift is a serious responsibility, which is why we invest time in training and recertifications to ensure the well-being of everyone involved. Every day in the United States, an average of 95 people are seriously injured by forklifts. And every 4 days, at least one person is killed in a forklift accident. Approximately 11% of forklifts are involved in accidents each year, making it crucial for us to address the common types of incidents. The three most frequent forklift accidents are overturning, workers on foot being struck, and workers falling from forklifts. To prevent accidents, it's essential to understand why forklifts tip over. 4 common reasons include carrying loads heavier than the recommended load ratings, transporting a load with the mass tilting forward, accelerating or braking too quickly, and lifting or lowering a load on a slope. It's important to know and understand the forklifts at ValleyBox, their engineering principles, best practices, maintenance, and of course, practicing safety on each and every task you perform.
Let's look at gas counterbalance trucks. These trucks can lift heavy loads because they have a large weight in the back which stabilizes or counterbalances loads that are carried on the forks. Gasoline counterbalance trucks are also known as internal combustion engine trucks, or ICE trucks. These trucks use gas, LP gas, or diesel fuel, and can be used in either dry or wet conditions with the proper tires. Because of their exhaust, these trucks require adequate ventilation.
At ValleyBox, all our forklifts use propane. There are several steps that must be taken to ensure a safe refueling process. First, put on gloves. Next, make sure the needle on the gauge shows empty. Then, turn the tank off by rotating the valve clockwise until firm. Disconnect the hose. Undo the latches that hold the tank on the forklift. Have another employee help you remove the tank from the forklift and place the tank in the cage. Make sure the base of the tank is facing outward. This indicates to the propane company that the tank is empty and needs to be replaced. Next, grab a new tank by sliding it out of the cage. Make sure you and your fellow employee have a firm grip on the tank before removing the tank from the cage. When placing the tank on the forklift, make sure the valve side of the tank is located on the right-hand side of the forklift. Once the tank is sitting on the forklift, connect the hose. Make sure the hose is securely tightened before turning on the valve. After the hose is connected, rotate the valve counterclockwise until the valve is completely open. Lastly, re-engage the latches that secure the tank to the forklift.
Counterbalance trucks have 2 basic types of tires. Cushion tires are actually very hard and used mostly on smooth indoor surfaces. Pneumatic-type tires are filled with air and used mostly for outdoor applications because they help provide better ride and traction on uneven surfaces. Counterbalance truck controls generally include 1, a steering wheel, 2, a direction control lever, 3, a key switch, 4, an accelerator pedal, 5, a service brake, 6, a hoist control lever, 7, a tilt control lever, 8, a parking brake, and 9, a horn button. Gas truck instrument panels include 1, an hour meter, 2, a coolant temperature gauge, 3, a fuel gauge, except on LP gas trucks, 4, an engine oil pressure lamp. On the front of the truck is the mast. It extends upward to lift or lower loads. Never allow anyone to stick their hands or any part of their body into the mast structure. The load backrest extension helps keep the load or any part of the load from falling back on the operator. The forks are for lifting loads only. Don't push or pull loads or lift anyone with them. Never try to lift anyone without a platform that meets OSHA requirements. The overhead guard helps protect the operator from falling objects. The operator's compartment is open on both sides, making it easy to get on and off the truck. Always keep your arms and legs inside the compartment area when traveling or loading. Remember to always wear your seatbelt on sit-down rider trucks. This could help prevent you from losing a limb or suffering other serious injuries in the event of an accident.
Is there any difference in operating or driving an automobile and a forklift? Absolutely. An automobile is steered by turning the steering wheel, which in turn moves the front wheels and tires in the direction in which you're steering. The front tires turn and move the automobile in the direction you want to turn or travel. Forklift steering is just the opposite. When you turn the steering wheel, the rear tires move to change direction. Forklift steering is totally different than steering an automobile, which is why you need training and experience to understand these differences. Automobiles and forklifts both generally use hydraulic braking systems. When you step on an automobile brake, hydraulic fluid is compressed through the master cylinder to wheel cylinders, which apply force to the brakes to stop the vehicle. Forklifts with hydraulic brakes operate basically the same way. However, only certain battery-operated forklifts, such as the large sit-down units, use hydraulic brakes. Another difference between automobiles and forklifts is that forklifts do not have shock absorbers. An automobile uses shock absorbers or struts to keep the tires firmly on the road surface while the vehicle is in motion, which reduces bouncing of the tires. Automobiles also have a 4-point suspension system. This means the automobile is supported by 4 points of a suspension system. Forklift engineers have designed forklifts on a 3-point suspension system, even if the forklift has 3 or 4 wheels. Since forklifts don't have shock absorbers, a pivot pin in the center of the axle supports the forklift's rear end. This allows for the up and down movement of the rear tires when traveling over bumps and uneven surfaces. The pivot point and the front tires make up the 3-point suspension system. The truck's steer axle is attached to the truck by a pivot pin in the axle's center. This 3-point suspension system forms an imaginary triangle called the stability triangle. The technical definition of the stability triangle is when the vehicle's line of action, or load center, falls within the stability triangle, the vehicle is stable and will not tip over. However, when the vehicle's line of action, or the vehicle and load combination, falls outside the stability triangle, the vehicle is unstable and may tip over. When the combined center of gravity of the truck and load move outside the lines of this triangle, the forklift will overturn.
Here is a typical capacity plate. The location varies with the make and model of the truck. Check your operator's manual for the location of your truck's capacity plate. It contains information on truck capacity, load center, and fork height. The number in the first column on the capacity plate tells you the heaviest weight the truck is rated to lift. The second column tells you the horizontal load center of a maximum capacity load. The horizontal load center is half the length of the load. For this truck, the horizontal load center is 24 inches, meaning the truck's capacity is based on loads 48 inches on each side. The third column shows the maximum distance from the floor to the upper surface of the forks when lifting a load. This is known as fork height. The last column shows the vertical load center. This is also usually 24 inches. Learn the rated capacity, load center, and maximum fork height of your truck before you begin to operate it. A truck with an attachment should be treated as partially loaded. Attachments affect stability by changing the truck's capacity rating and load center. Make sure the capacity plate shows the maximum capacity for your truck with an attachment. If you are unsure of a load weight or a load center, see your supervisor before lifting it. Do not try to operate your truck if there is a maintenance tag on it. Even if there doesn't seem to be anything wrong, the tag is there for a reason. Check with your supervisor. The gauges, controls, and features of counterbalance trucks vary depending on make and model, so be sure to read the operator's manual for your specific truck.
Our training series goes beyond mere forklift physical characteristics and maintenance. In the upcoming sections, we'll dive into the engineering principles behind forklifts and best operating practices.